Okay, so let's take a look at example 37. We have f of x is equal to 1 over x. Find the slope of the curve at any point x equals a. And then for part B, we're going to find out where does the slope equal negative 1/4. So if we go back to this formula here, okay, that's essentially what we're looking to do here. So let me just write that down. So for part A, m is equal to the limit as h approaches 0 of f of a plus h minus f of a all over h. And our function is this 1 over x. Okay, so for f of a plus h, we're going to have 1 over a plus h minus 1 over a all over h. So from here, let's go ahead and find a common denominator with the numerator portion. So we'll multiply this by a over a, and we'll multiply this by a plus h over a plus h. Okay, so if I multiply that out, I'll get a, and then if I multiply this next part, I'll have minus, and then distribute a minus h over a times a plus h. That was our common denominator. And then I'm going to write the next part. Instead of dividing by h is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal, 1 over h. So we have the limit as h approaches 0. A minus a is going to cancel. What else do we notice? We have a negative h and an h. That's going to cancel and result in just a negative 1 in the numerator. So we'll have negative 1 over a times a plus h. Now we can evaluate. So as the limit as h approaches 0, we will have negative 1 over a squared. So this is, right, this is the slope. This is m. So for part B, if m is equal to the formula negative 1 over a squared, where does the slope equal negative 1/4? So whenever I'm asking for where does something occur, I'm looking for an x value. Okay, so basically an x value, in other words, we're going to be solving for a. X and a are the same in this scenario. So I'm going to set negative 1/4 equal to, okay, well the negatives will cancel. We could just do the reciprocal of each side. And so when we take the square root, we'll get plus or minus 2 is equal to a, or x equals plus or minus 2. Now I can also go back and plug in the actual value to find the coordinate. So if I were to plug in f of negative 2, f of 2, I'd get 1/2. And if I plug in negative 2, I get negative 1/2. Let me just erase that real quickly. Next one, at what point is the tangent to f of x equals 3 minus 4x minus x squared horizontal? Well, think about it. When do you have a horizontal line? What is the slope of a horizontal line? It is 0. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go through the same formula that we used in part A, and we're going to do that again. So again, this is what m is equal to. H approaches 0. So it's going to be f of a plus h, f of a plus h minus f of a all over h, where here's our function that we want to use. So we have 3 minus 4 times a plus h minus a plus h squared, and then minus f of a. So that's, just make sure not to forget that you have to distribute. Okay, looks a little messy. Promise it's going to work out very nicely. So I have 3 minus 4a minus 4h minus h squared minus 2ah minus h squared. I FOILed and just multiplied out the negative at the same time. Minus 3. Oh, I just realized I put x here by accident. That's supposed to be an a. Alrighty, so I get plus 4a plus a squared all over h. Let's see what we can cancel. 3's will cancel, 4a will cancel, the a squareds will cancel, and so what do I notice about all 3 of these terms? I can pull out an h, I can factor out an h, so I get negative 4 minus 2a minus h all over h. Cancel out the h's. Now we can evaluate our limit. So we get negative 4 minus 2a. Okay. Now we want to find out at what point is it horizontal. Again, remember this was the slope, so I'm going to set this equal to 0 because we wanted the slope to be horizontal. So when a is negative 2, and then if we plug that back in, negative 2 will become 7.